So here's an absolutely fucking insane story. Now, I saw this and I was like, this is really important. I want to cover this. But now I'm covering it for really another reason. So the story is Trump is now trying to cut again energy assistance for poor people. So essentially what this program does is in really cold states, what they do is basically there's a grant given and then it covers the costs of low-income people who need heating because it's cold as fuck in those states, and that's actually really dangerous. So this AP article states the Trump administration is once again calling for the complete elimination of a heating assistance program that helps to keep the homes of low-income families warm, and once again program supporters are vowing to fight it. The administration is using the same arguments from a year ago when it tried to abolish the program, saying it's rife with fraud and that no one will be left freezing if the program goes away. And then they have a quote here from the National Energy Assistance Directors Association that goes after that. They say the program known as LIHEAP, LIHEAP, a low-income home energy assistance program, helps families pay their heating bills primarily in the form of a grant that's sent directly to utility companies or heating fuel vendors. It says President Donald Trump tried to eradicate the program last year, but encountered resistance in Congress. In October, he released nearly $3 billion, or roughly 90% of the funding. Critics say the money won't go as far as in past years because of rising prices. It says, nonetheless, program supporters say LIHEAP is a lifeline for the elderly, disabled, and others on fixed income. So, this is one of those things where I go, what kind of a monster do you have to be to go, I'm president now, you know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to cut funding that goes directly to utility companies that pays for heating for old people, for poor people, in cold-ass states. What kind of a fucking heartless and, I guess, ironically, cold monster do you have to be, you utter piece of garbage? And I guarantee you, this is something that is not really going to get covered by, the MSM or really anybody, to be honest. And this is something that's fucking massively important. This is something that is just utterly disgraceful. Again, you have the power of being the president. I thought you were supposed to be for the working man. I thought you were supposed to be, this person who's trying to help workers out. This shit, heating is really expensive, especially in those states where it's cold as fuck. And you're trying to help those people. People lose jobs. People don't have their jobs. And this is just so disgusting. Whose instinct is it to do this? And they say that it's rife with fraud. You really think that they literally stated that what I told you was a quote verbatim, that no one will be left freezing from it. That is some bullshit. The program would not have been created, and there's no way you're telling me that a huge fraud, even if there was some fraud, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. You, at the very least, work to maybe fix that. But dude, that doesn't mean you just eradicate the whole program. Are you stupid? Are you out of your mind? But, that was what I was supposed to talk about here for you guys. But then I kept, I kept looking through the article. I was reading through the whole thing, and I see this, and here's what it says. It says they're basically talking about somebody who's in the situation of, fuck, it might get pulled, the plug might get pulled on me. It says, quote, if the president turned around and did away with that funding, I have no idea how we'd survive in the winter, said Dwayne LeBrec, a diabetic who is on disability after losing several toes and part of his foot to infection. So if that were to happen, this dude would be freezing to death. And that's thanks to President doofus freaking piece of shit Trump. It says LeBrec's income plummeted when he lost his job as a shipping manager, leaving him to cobble together an existence for himself, his fiancée, and their 5 children in the rural Maine town of Hartford. The family received about $1,000 in heating assistance this winter, and that money is already gone. This is the type of people that he wants to pull the plug on. People who need this shit, and he's trying to pull the plug on them. What an asshole. But here's what this is where I was like, what the fuck? It says, the Trump supporter said he hopes the president has a change of heart. He says he won't be voting for Trump again if he succeeds in killing off the program. Okay, for a few reasons, this is unbelievably stupid. When I read this, I got heated. That's why I was really I'm gonna fucking talk about this. The fact that this guy actually fell for this shit. He actually thought that Trump was for the working man, and he was, trying to help poor people or any of this shit, is crazy, man. And, you know, there's a side of me that's like, okay, you know, people who are working people and have big ass families, they don't really have time to pay attention to all this stuff. So when you hear him saying that, you know, we need to kill the TPP and NAFTA, bring the jobs back, you know, it's tough for them to be able to call BS on that. But come on, man. But there's another level to this. He said he won't be voting for Trump again if he succeeds in killing off the program. Why? Why isn't intent enough for you? So if he can't kill it, you know, if he dead ass wants to strip that money that keeps you warm, you still would vote for him again? But just because he didn't succeed, he tried his ass off, but he didn't succeed. But you're still gonna vote for him? Why? Are you out of your mind? The only possible way I could see this sentence making sense is if Trump comes out saying, oh, you know, I'm sorry, but there's no way he's gonna say, you know, I wish I hadn't done that. Come on, man, please. This is unbelievably stupid. And, you know, it says U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, an independent, told the White House budget director that the Trump administration is creating, quote, a situation where people will go cold, some may freeze to death. And that is what President Trump is bringing on. This is utterly disgusting and disheartening, to be quite frank with you.